Hi all, today we will discuss about section 4 application 1. So the section 4 application 1 mostly we will see how we can communicate or call from one class to another class of any variable, either a static instance, and how we will call create a object, how we will call from one class to another class method, and the static method, non-static methods and all. So we'll start from this. So here, see, this is the B class where we have inside it we have two classes are there. One is class A where I have instance int I, that is instant variable, which is inside the class. Inside the method we have a local variable. If you have a static keyword, then a static variable. So class A have only int I instance variable. Class B extends by using extend keywords, so ext and ds. So we are extending A. So whatever the property is there in the class A, all will be extended in class B. Here also we have integer j is there. So that these two integer as I and j will be here inside the class B with different name, and then reference name. And then we have a main method. So inside the main method, what we are creating a call object. So we are creating a object from B class. So, and after that, based on the reference, we are calling this instant variable, because these all are instance variables. So we need to access in a static block, a static method. So inside the static method, based on the object reference, we can call. So what will be the default value of I and j, that will be printed here. So if you run this program, you will get this 0 and 0 like this. So others, we have a D program which have to add the package of section 4 application 1. Inside that we have C, we have instance variable I. One is non-static void test method, and other is D class extend this. So whatever the instance variable method is there, non-static method, which will be extended in this D class by using extend keyword. So we have I and j will be inside that, and then void test and void test 2. Then we have to create a main method. So inside the main method we will have a created object of D. So based on the reference, because this all test method is also non-static, so directly we can't call non-static inside this method, main method. So based on the reference of D we will call, because this is all part of D, because we have done extend in this. So D dot test1, D dot test2, and then D dot I equal to 10, D dot j equal to 20. They have initialized. So then after that we will get this value of 10, 20. So we know like what is non-static method, how we will call non-static and all. And then we have this one. So we have a class E, so that class E added the package, and after that we have a static instance variable and non-static instance variable. So, and after that we have non-static method, static method. So how we will call, once you will extend that, then all those things will come here. So we have a void test1, test2 and test3, and test4 is there. So what will happen here, see, this is the program, and then we have this one. So once you will run this e.test2, then e.test2 have a static block, so directly you can run. Another is f.test2. So f.test2 is test2 also will have a static block, we can run, because once you will be extend, then all those things will be there inside that, all the non-static static variables and method. So f.test2 also will be fine. And then f.test4. So the f.test4 means this test4 is a non-static, so that is fine. e.j is non-static instance variable, so we have defined e.j. so that e dot j is a static, so by default will be 0, so they have reinitialized, and f dot n is a static default 0, so they initialized. Now after that they created an object, so once the object created, then I value will be used based on the reference, because here we are not creating any reference because these all are a static instance variable and method. So whatever non-static, for that you need to create a reference. Based on the reference you need to initialize the value and initialize the method. So e dot test1 and I, and again after that we have a f dot I, f dot m, and then m is also non-static instance, so f dot I, and then test1 test2, so we'll get the output, then all the output will come. So what we'll learn here in this program, what we will learn here, like see, so all the static method and static instance variables will be called inside the method directly based on the class name. But if you have, because of multiple class inside that, but if you have a non-static, then you have to create an object, and based on the reference we can call or initialize the variables. So this is the difference which I have. And then if we'll go for the next program, here we have to add the package, and then we have I class. So in that I class I have a constructor, and then J class also have a constructor extend I. So I and J will have inside the J class, and the K class have main method. So once the object will be created, what will happen? I classes constructor will call. If you are using J, once the object will be created, then I and J both will be called, because you are doing extend keyword. So while extending the keyword, then this all will be happen, because both are non-argument constructor. So if we'll go for this J class, so we have a J class. Inside that we have like a L class is there, and then M class is there. So L is there, M is there, M is non-argument constructor, is also non-argument constructor, N is there. So L is extending in M is extending in N, and then O is there. So O main method is there. So once O main method will be created for L class, so that all non-object, non-instance object will be called. And then if you will see, this one will be called. If you have then L and M both will be called, because you are doing extend, so all those things will come inside that. If you are doing N, then L, M, N both will be called, all three will be called. So like that we can have a extend. So based on that we can extend multiple one classes inside the other classes by using extend keyword. So we will do this one, and then if we'll go for this, and then we have a P class. So that P classes have a constructor, and then Q class also will constructor extending this one. So see here super is there. So super is a keyword which is used to call immediate parent class of class of inside the class of any constructor and all. So based on the supers we will call. So what is this and super? This will use for the current class, and super will use for the immediate parent class. So if we'll go for this one, so once the object will be created Q1, so here CQ constructor will call, because non-argumented, here we have non-argumented super. So super will check for the next immediate parent class. So parent class is P here, so this P will be called here. So P of constructor, then constructor will be printed after this SOP, and if you run this P, then only P constructor will be called. So what is this and super? You know, like this will be called in the current class parent, and super will call in the immediate parent class of constructor and all. So if you are passing in super argument, then immediate parent class argument things will come. If you are passing non-argument, then immediate parent class non-argument things will come, non-argument constructor will come. So like this. And then we have a next key program which will have a S class. So as we have a constructor, and R also already defined. So there is defined R is already defined in this before program already we done. So here we are making as a R1. Okay, so see, so as we have this one and R1 have extended S, and here they are using super. So immediate super will call this one immediate parent class. The parent class is S here, so non-argument super is there, so non-argument constructor will call. And T we have extending R, so and U is there. So what will happen here? So if we are creating in a class of T, then T here T, so this will be called, and inside that we have a and R, so R will be called. Inside that we have super, so this will be called. So S constructor, then R constructor, then T constructor. If you are running R, then R, and then S will be have because super. So S and R will be called. If you are doing S, then only S will be called. So like that we have a multiple intercommunications happen from this one constructor to another constructor now. So this is not running because of some issue in my application. New program if we will run, so like this. And other have if you go here, so we have a V is a argument constructor, and then W we have a non-argument. W also we have argument constructor. But why what we are doing here, this keyword, so this keyword will always refer in the current class, not immediate parent class. And even this is non-argumented, we are not able to find here non-argumented anything, so that's why we will get here the constructor W non-argument is undefined here. So you will get this exceptions, so that will compiler will check, and then you'll get this type of exception here. So while you are trying to do, then this argument v1 will call, and then this will be printed, and after that this will be in there W. So while W we have non-argument constructor, so this have this, so this we don't have any non-argument constructor. The constructor is defined, so we have error in that, compile time error will come. And then if you go for the next program here, so in this next program we have X, yeah, X. So X we have this one. So if you go for this one, the class X we have a Y class also, the extending X class, and inside that we have a inside Y class we have argument constructor, and then we have a main method. So the main method is calling non-argument object and also creating a argument object. So here what will happen, non-argument object will call this X, because if you are not providing any argument non-argument object constructor, then compiler will automatically will call. So if you have created x1 equal to new x1, means this X class will be called, and here we have a automated non-argument constructor will be there, in compiler will create. For Y we have a argument, so that will be called here, and then extend the X, that is also fine because non-argument constructor compiler will automatically will be called. So if you see there, so we have a Y int will be the output, and this, because we don't have internal anything in this, so that will not be printed. So like that we have a multiple argument, non-argument, one class, another class, how we will extend, and then how we will create a constructor, or will have a this on super, and how we can call non-static, static methods and all. So this will be the in part section 4 app 1. Now we will try to complete app 2. So in that app 2 also we'll have all the same logic which have related for this all concept. So we have to add the package here, and after that see in the class A we have argument constructor is there, and then class B we have extended this one A class constructors and all, and then B class we have a non-argument constructor here. And what we are doing here in A class, we are printing in main method we have a current argument constructor, so that will be called, that is fine. And after that B class we have a non-argumented constructor, so directly we are trying to call here. So either we have a this or super. So if you are so what will happen here, so we have a like this one class B extend A. So the A class we have argument constructor here. So in B class we have only non-argument constructor. So if you run this program you will get some exception. Why? Because of, so while we running this one you will get this one implicit super constructor A. So implicit super constructor A non-argument is undefined, must explicit to invoke another constructor. So here they are trying to call this one non-argument constructor. So non-argument constructor, because here you are extending this one, so we have only argument constructor. So internally whatever the constructor has defined, that will call inside the B also. So what will happen here, B, you created object as a non-argument here, so the non-argument will call here, but also they will check from A, is there any non-argument is there or not. So suppose if you have explicitly defined non-argument in A class, so that will be extended in B class also, but compiler want B class non-argument A class constructor, so that is not there. Why? Because of object created with this non-argument. So they will get a compile time exception here, this one implicit super constructor A undefined. So have you understand? And then we have other, so we have a class C and class D. So if we will add this package here, class D have a non-argument constructor here, so the argument constructor here, and class D have argument constructor with the super have a J, so this will be called immediate. And then we have a non-argument constructor also here, and they are calling super, so immediate class of constructor will call as argument. And then we have a main method. So once you will create an object for this, so this argument constructor is there, so C will be called and this will be printed. And then once you get for this D, then D will be called here, and inside that first the D will be called, and then super we have a C will be also called, and then this one will be printed. And this will be not be printed because this is non-argument constructor. So if we run this program here, what will be there, C is printed, and then C again printed because this extended from here, and after that D is printed. So we have super of J, so here this super immediate parent class of constructor will be called, so this will be printed C and J D, and after that what will happen, then again we have a non-argument constructor of D, so this will be called, and here this will be there, so this will be again called the C, so C argument, and then D non-argument will be called here. Like this will have output, so this will be output of this. If you run here, so you will get this one output, correct? Now we have a E, so inside that E we have a class A, and then added the package, and then class A have a static. Why? Because of we have duplicate already defined, so we need to make it A1, and then we have a class B is also defined, then we have to mention B1, and then we have a class C. Class C is also defined, then we have to make it a D1 because somewhere we used, so that's why. So this C class A have this one SIB, static block. Class B also have static block. Class C is also a static block, but they are extending B1, they are extending class B, extending A1. So class D is a one. Class D is there. Inside that we have main method. So main method is try. Main method we have a try to call a class D. A main method we will call the B1. So B1 will be printed here. So we have, so once a compiler will compile, then a static block will be called. So all the static block will be called. Then B, once B will be called, then we have a non-static. So this B method don't extend, then only done will be there, and then after that we have a main method of C. Suppose if you run this C1, then all the static method will be loaded, and then C will be called here, and C have a, then B, and B have A, like this. So done will be there, and if you run this F1, then F will have A. The A method will be called, all the static method will be loaded, and then, and after that done method will be called, because so like this. So every time all the static method will be loaded if you are running, because we have DEF D. If you run this one D1, so see this A, B, all static method, and if you run for this F, because we have three main method inside that, and if you run, if you run this one as B, E, then this C method will, all the static block and all will call like this. So thus we have a E. So we have a E. Inside that we have a main method. E constructor is argument, non-argument has been created. E is already defined, so that's why we are getting here exception. So we need to make it E2. Somewhere we used in this package, so that's why we are getting error. So we need to make as a E2 F2 like that. Okay. So what will happen? See here, all the errors spawn, because already defined in this package somewhere E2 E already. So that's why. So I put it E2. So E2 have a non-argument and argument constructor is there. F we have extended E2. Inside also F argument non-argument. So it will create an object for E2. So the E2 which non-argument will call, and if you create an object of E2 argument, then argument will call. Then if you create an object of F2, then non-argument E2 and F will call, because you are doing extend. Like that we have argument E2 and F2 argument will call, because we are doing extend. So based on the extend keyword, all the things will be called. And then after that we have our next program. If you have class G have the same argument and non-argument constructor. Class H have same argument non-argument constructor, but in H non-argument constructor they are calling argument super. So immediate parent class of constructor argument will call, so this will be invoked here, and here they are calling argument constructor, they are calling non-argument constructor, so immediate non-argument constructor will call, not an issue. So inside the argument non-argument you can call any type of parameterized constructor, and the main method. So h1 equal to new h, so new h will be go here, and then new h have here, and new h what will happen here, that will go for the argument constructor. So this argument is there, so that will be called this one. g int and then h, and then after that if you have arguments, so this will be called, and here non-argument super g non-argument constructor will call, and this will be printed. And like that, if you have a non-argument g, so this non-argument g means this one will be called, correct? Yeah, that's it. So this will be the output. You run this, getting some of, yeah, like this. If you are doing this parameter of g, so then this one will be called. If you parameter of this non-parameter, so this one will be called like this. So and after that we have a next, we have a class. So here we have a package. Inside this package, argument, non-argument, we have IIB block also there. So this is the IIB block. This is a non-argument constructor, means default constructor. This is a argument constructor, and this is a again argument constructor is a different data type, and here they are calling this, so this will be called immediate class, a current class of constructors. And also this is non-argument, is a current class of non-argument constructor will call. So we'll see here. So once object will be created, then IIB block will be instantiate. So IIB block will call, and after that this is a non-argument I, so the I method will call, and then we have again argument, single argument integer type. So static block instantiate, because again you created a object, and then this will be called, and then this is the non-argument as a double, then IIB will be called, and this will be print non-static like this. If you run this one, so see here, this is the output of this, and then double will be called. So if you'll go for the next one, so this next one we are getting some error. Why? Because of g is already defined somewhere in this front package, so we are putting as the 3, something like this. H also 3. So we have a two class, one is g, another is h, and other is also I. So G class will have a one is parameterized constructor and a static block. H have non-parameterized default non-parameterized constructor and a static block, and IIB block also there. And I have a non-argument constructor, a static block, and IIB. J, I am trying to run this J main method. So this J main method G will be called. So G is non-argument object. So non-argument object means first IIB SS static block will call, then this will be called, IIB will be called, and then this will be called. Because once you object created, then IIB will, and static block will call at the compile time only. So once you will run this program, then this will be. And suppose if you are doing H, then already SIB has called, then SIB will be called. And so if you are doing H, then all the SIB will be called, and then IIB will be called, and then constructor. If you are doing I, then all the SIB will already called, then IIB will be called, and then constructor, respective constructor. So we have a J. So if I am selecting here J, so see here, no, this is not coming. So like that we have, and then if you run this program as a K, then K like that, K will be called. So this H inside this, and L. So IJK, so I is this one, this is a G H I, so J and K, L class L. So if you are doing G H I, so G H I, based on that all the static block and all will be called, and after that Okay, so if you'll run here, run as Java application section 4, they are getting some error maybe because of, okay, so like this. And then if you have okay program, then in that again we are getting some of error. Why? Because of J already defined, so we are putting here J4. So we have J class in that one constructor, we have K class, extend J4, and then we are trying for this super. So they say super will be also the first statement. Whatever this call and super call, constructor must have first statement, not in that. So you will get some error. Once you'll run this program, you'll get a error like this. Super should be the first statement because of this is the incorrect output is coming because of some issue in that our ID. So here, so if you run this program, you will get some compile time exception. This is this constructor call must be the first statement in the constructor like this. And so this is the next one, okay. And then after that we have next one of L. So where we have a class, this class is L, and inside that we have a L method. So and inside that super is the first statement, that is correct, but inside this class super and this we can't use. So constructor call must have the first statement. So here again they are using this one, so it must be first statement, and either super or this only one we can use at a time. So we cannot use both same time, and both should be like at only one will be there, and that will be in first statement, not in this. So you'll get this one, this error, and then after that we'll have a next one. So in that next one, class M added package, in that non-argument IIB is there. Then again you have a argument with two parameters, and here this is there correct and fine. And then they are trying to create one N, and inside the N we have super, so that will be called immediate parent class. So this will be two argument will be called, and then we have a IIB here, and then again one single argument we have this call. So this call will be called in the current class. So this call have this one, and again this will be call of immediate parent class here like this. And then we have a and double. So double will have argument constructor. So argument constructor super immediate parent class of this will be called, and then you will go for the main method. So compiler will go for the main method, will check m1 parameterize with m1 double parameterize with n parameterize and single parameterize and double parameterize, like that we will get some output. If you run this program, maybe you will get a output, but we are getting some compiler issue here. So we'll see. Yeah, so this is the correct output here. I'm input, and then in this like that you will run. So this type of output you will get. So you need to see and what is the, so if you run this program like this will be good. And coming for this next program, we have this one. So in this again we have P class. So the P class have add the package here, and then we have IIB is there, constructor is there, P we have a non argument is there, and then IIB there. If we'll call O non argument, then O will IIB will be called first, and then O will be called. Then if you'll do this one, then IIB will be called, and then this will be called. But here we have a extend. So this extend again we have a O parameter, non parameters also will be called here. So IIB, then O constructor, then PIIB and constructor Pint. Like that we have a, and if you go for this Q program, so this Q program will have a class M, So the class m have a like already we use somewhere, so maybe so we need to change this name as a class 5 here and 5 also here doing here. So what will happen here? So we have a class m 5 here. We have a non-argument IIB is there, SIB is there, argument constructor is there. Again we have n5 is extend m, and inside that n5 we have non-argument constructor, but again you, because you are extending m here, so m we don't have any, yeah, m we have already, and end is there, and SIB is there, IIB is there, argument is there, IIB2 is there. Okay, so here if we'll run this one, we'll make it 5 here, and then because of five, 5, 5 and 5, then here also we have to make it 5, 5 and 5. And and that. Five. Because already somewhere I used, so that's why I'm getting error. Already is declared, so I have declared. Now what will happen here in this? So we have this 5's in m, and then n we also have. So while we have n5, inside that what we are getting here, implicit super constructor m is undefined, must be invoked in another constructor. So while you have, if you will call this one here o1 and m, so this m, so inside this n we have a non-argument constructor, is fine, and here also static IIP and non-argument is there. So once you will call this n class, once you will create a n class of method, so here what we are doing, we are passing argument constructor, correct? While we are passing argument constructor, then they will call argument constructor, then I support dot I is also have argument constructor here. I think this one have implicit super constructor m is undefined. Invoke here, so this will be getting error. I will check why it is coming. Implicit super constructor is defined because of this is integer type, and they are trying to call here in n, and 5 we have this one non-argument, and n5 is there, is argument, So both is fine. Okay, we'll see for this. And then next we have a class q inside this. If you'll see here, again we have a q class have a class, and then we have a constructor, and then we are extending with the r, and then inside the r we have again this IIB and constructor, and then as we have extend r, so inside this r is parameterize constructor and IIB. So once you'll call this s, then s parameter will call, and they are extending r, so this r will be called, then extending q6, so the q6 will be called. So like that this will be happen. So this is the parameterized, so parameterized only will be called here. So see, q IIB will be called, then q parameterized, non-parameterized, then RIIB, R non-parameterized, SIB, as we have SIB, so SIB will be called, and then it will. So like that, if you have q, then q IIB, then this, and then R, because SIB has been invoked only once. And then q, like that we will get this one. And then if you have last program for this section 4, so this section 4 we have up to, this is the last program which I have. So this T, I have IIB non-argument constructor, second IIB, you have a non-argument constructor IIB, and then we have a non-argument constructor using this. So this will be called immediate parent class, immediate class of non-argument constructor. So this have, and we have this is the SIB, and then this is the argument constructor, and then T. If you'll call this T, then T will be printed, and if you call this BU, then U will be printed, and T both will be printed. If you call V, then U B and T will be printed. If you call V argument, then V argument will be printed, and whatever is required, that will be there. So every time IIB will be called and SIB will call only once. So IIB, U, B, B int and V. So T, IIB, T, U, V, like this printed. So like this we have completed section 4 also. Inside that we seen like how we will call multiple classes, how we will create a multiple class, how we will create a multiple public method inside this class, and how we will run that, and what are the ways to communicate from one class to extend by using extend keyword to another class, how we will call this and super, what are the argument non-argument constructor, what is a static block, what is non-static block, and what is static method, non-static method, static variable, non-static variables, and all, like instance variable, how we will call, how we will create an object, and based on that how we will call the, based on the object reference, how we will call any constructor, what is the parameterize, non-parameters, when to use this, when to use super, can we use both same time, and then what will be the first statement, either this or supers and all. So these things we have discussed through the programmatical way. So I completed these 4. Later we will complete next section, that is 5. Yeah, so we will consider in the next video. Yeah, thank you.